I love taking pre-made patterns and customizing them into my own creative ideas. For this project, I'm going to use scraps of vinyl and felt, and I'm going to make my own ornament from a St. Patrick's Day and Easter pattern collection available separately for purchase, and of course, my trusty ScanNCut. For my project, what you're going to need are some felts that have iron-on backing on them, as well as some iron-on vinyls, and you're going to go into Canvas Workspace first of all, and once you have purchased and activated the collection, you'll be able to select that leprechaun pattern, and then you're going to want to save it. You can either save it to your computer, transfer to a USB drive, or if you have wireless, you can go ahead and transfer that wirelessly. Now I went ahead and cut out, just out of scrap paper, by loading the pattern and just clicking OK through and cut my design because I wanted to play with it and play with possible color combinations, possible material choices, and really get a feel for the exact pattern that I was about to cut out. I like to do this with more complex patterns. Sometimes it saves me a lot of money and materials because I've already tested and figured out what does and doesn't work. Once you're ready to really get going though, you're going to follow these steps for each color. I'm going to walk you through it once and then you just repeat it for each piece. That is each group of pieces that are the same material. So in other words, the white felt, the dark green felt, etc. So first of all, this time we're going to do the gold, and I've got my gold vinyl with the transfer sheet side down on my ScanNCut, got it loaded up. Once it is loaded, we're going to click retrieve data, and mine is on a USB stick in the machine, and I'm just going to scroll down to my leprechaun file and accept it. Now we're going to go into edit, and I'm going to use the group function. What I am doing is deleting or removing all of the pieces that I do not wish to cut. So this is kind of a shortcut because once they're all grouped and you've said okay, you can just hit the garbage can, and that's going to delete all those pieces. So that is one way. The other way is one at a time. You can click the piece and click the garbage can. Really depends on what you want to do. Now, could you cut everything out at the same time? You could if all the materials were similar thickness. I'm using all different thicknesses. Even the vinyls are different thicknesses. So what I am doing here is just getting them up there, and then I'm spacing them out a little bit because I want enough room around each so that I can iron them on while still on the transfer sheet because these are such teeny tiny little pieces. And once I'm satisfied with this, we're going to click OK. And again, you're repeating these steps for every color. These are the exact same steps, just picking different pieces of the pattern. We're making sure half cut is on because this is vinyl, and then we cut. Now, once we have all our pieces cut, for all of the vinyl pieces, you will need to do some weeding. Here you can see my green, and in other words, what you're doing is removing any piece of vinyl that you do not wish to use. So in this case, I've got some little legs and a little hat band. Actually, 2 hat bands there, so I've weeded those out. And then you're going to just keep all of the pieces. You want them on there. And the vinyl, it's really nice to have them on that transfer sheet. It's going to make it a lot easier to handle them and to get them all in place. You can see here, it's going to be so cute. So once you have all your pieces, you're going to start from the back, from the base, and the pieces that are on the underside. You're going to start ironing them on, working your way up to the pieces that you want to be on top or at the very front. Again, this is where that sample came in handy. I knew which pieces to put in which order. Once everybody is all together, guess what? Here's a fun little addition that's optional, but I really love how this turned out. So this was originally a card. As you can see, my design there, the white, it's got the 2 pieces of the leprechaun because it was intended as a card. Well, what I'm going to do is add some stitching on here. So that backing, what it's going to end up doing is I'm going to end up gluing that together to hide my stitching. So I'm just stitching around simple stitches for the little red beard. I'm also going to just sew a button on for his nose once I have the eyes in place and I'm happy with those. This is just a little extra fun step. You could add beads, sequins, whatever you would like depending on what pattern you're working with. And you see here, adding the glue, closing it up. There is one final step that I took to make it an ornament. I took different threads and then a needle, threaded them through a needle, and then pulled through towards the top of my leprechaun there, pulled through fairly close together a number of colors, as you can see here. And then once I have them pulled through, I'm just letting go of the needle, keeping the thread in there, and then I'm just going to tie them all together in a knot, which I love how this looks. I love the texture that it adds, the color. I think it's a lot of fun if you wanted to add in charms here or other little things. If you wanted to turn this into a garland, you certainly could. Your options are fairly limitless with a project like this. I hope you have enjoyed my project. I had so much fun making it and sharing with you. Be sure to tune in to the Brother YouTube channel because there are always so many new projects and ideas. I wish you a very charming day full of happy crafting.